X is gonna ask, ain't no one ask how is Lawler, so how am I? Well, it's a Q&A Sunday video on a Monday, so busy, but other than that, I'm good. But yeah, let's get into these. Play the intro. What's up, everybody? Lawler here, inside source for all things Rocket League. Jokes aside, obviously, Q&A Sunday is going to be held on a Monday. It's just been there's so much stuff going on, and things kind of got out of whack. So we're doing this a day late, but I want to try to make sure I do this at least once a week for y'all. So it's going to be on Monday for this week. But we've got 6 questions we're going to be answering. There's a whole bunch more. If you guys do not get your questions answered, as always, don't be afraid to come over to the Twitch channel and ask there. Otherwise, I do try to go back and see some ones and answer those in the future. So with that said, question 1 is coming from Miggy Slayer that says, how do you foresee new regions being added to the RLCS, and how will it change the number of teams going to Worlds? Which is actually a really good question. So the way that Psyonix has done it in the past is they try to identify a region that can self-sustain, a region that has the ability to put on tournaments and run tournaments that will then lead into the RLCS. Right now, the 2 areas that I think are most needed are obviously like the Asian scene and something with the Middle East, whether it be like Sandrock Gaming and like Tokyo Verde getting an automatic buy, or how they want to do that. That is entirely up to how Sonics wants to do the format. I would do it in one of 2 ways. Number 1 is I would let APL, who's been running a majority of their tournaments, run a wild card tournament where 1 seed from both the Middle East in a Middle Eastern tournament and 1 seed from the Asian region, where they only send those 2 teams. We get rid of the 6 that go from North America and Europe and make it only 5, which gives 2 spots, which will still give us a perfect 16 teams. So you have 5 NA, 5 EU, 2 SAM, 2 OCE, 1 Middle East, and then 1 from Asia. I think that'd be a way to do it. That's probably the one way I would do it. The other option too is, once they identify, or the way that it'll probably be implemented in the future, is if tournament organizers, whether it be APL or otherwise, show that they can run a consistent and a well-groomed broadcast and have solid production quality and all that kind of stuff, then Psyonix will partnership with that, just like they've done the Grand Series for South America and RL Oceania or ESL Australia, and then give them the ability to say, hey, yep, you guys run it and take care of it. Your system and your format will feed into the RLCS. That's kind of the way they've done it in the past. But I do think, and in a future video, a little bit of a teaser, things are going to be changing for what we know for the RLCS. And I don't know where I'm at with it. So if you guys want to make sure you don't miss out on what the heck I'm talking about, make sure you hit subscribe, turn on notifications, because that video is me possibly leaking something. Question 2 comes from Pilot Jack. What are your thoughts on RLCS 11? Do you think it's going to be held back until they confirm that there is international competition, or just do it a month or 2 after RLCS X finishes and just have regional competition for another year? So the situation is obviously kind of a weird one, because we don't know when the pandemic is supposed to get better. And for Psyonix, if they have showcased up to this point that they can still run a tournament, like they still ran a very successful season 10 despite the circumstances, like the amount of tournaments and the organization behind it, it was pretty successful. It's one of the better online looking tournaments that we've seen throughout all of esports. Like, credit where it's due, RL Esports is doing pretty dang well. The downfall though is we don't want a regurgitation. We don't want more of the same. So I do think that because of the way scheduling and everything is going right now, I do tend to agree with some of the articles that have come out that they didn't push back IWO, they didn't push back the championships, they didn't push anything back. And because of that, I feel like things are going to keep trending the same way. So a couple months I don't think is enough time. Hopefully between, which is next week, going to be the RLCS X championships that start on the 15th. After that week is over, that should give roughly 3 to 4 months of time for people to take a break. Because understand, these guys have been grinding for about 10 to 11 months straight. It's been a lot of Rocket League, 22 events, all that kind of stuff. So I do assume that there's going to be a bit of a break, probably around like 3 months. And then RLCS 11 will start sometime in like September, I would assume, like maybe late September, just to give them a little bit of time and a little bit of a break. Plus, then it gives a better trade window opportunity and people can figure out roster stuff, which also goes into the teaser thing I just mentioned. We may see some drastic changes to rosters for certain reasons. So again, this is me double teasing a video coming up in the future. I think things will run as normal, probably around like September, maybe October at the latest. And they'll just keep doing it, and then just have to be hopeful that when time rolls around for the winter major or the fall major, or whatever the heck they're going to call it, there's going to be the opportunity to actually run one. So we'll see how it goes, but that is what I assume will happen. They'll have to maybe adjust things. I still don't know why we don't play Rocket League during the summer when kids have off of school with our younger player base, and instead the summertime is when we don't have any Rocket League. Maybe they go to a winter, spring, summer split rather than a fall, and then they get the fall off. I don't know. Maybe they'll, I don't know. Maybe something like that will happen. I don't think it's a bad idea with school. Question 3 comes from David. It says, out of all the formats we've had during RLCSX, what's been your favorite and least favorite format? You can rank them if you want. I personally hate double elimination. So we had Swiss in the fall, double elimination in the winter, and then for spring we had round robin. I do like round robin quite a bit. I do like the fact that every team plays every team. It made the grid really nice too. We basically got a super extended league play with 16 teams instead of 10. I really enjoyed that grid format, but I do think that for the competitive integrity side, for the like best results possible, the Swiss style works really well, where a 1-0 team plays a 1-0 team, a 2-0 team plays a 2-0 team, and that's how you weed out teams. Those do have a lot of matches. There's a lot of games going on, and I'm okay with not seeing every single match, personally, just because there's so many. If they provide the ability to do like an A, B, and C stream, and they do showcase those, they do have to clean up the scheduling and make sure things run on time, and there's a lot of moving parts. So if I had to, very last place is definitely double elimination. I can't stand double elimination. You guys can come to my stream and listen to me rant about it if you want. I'm not going to get into it here. And then it's kind of a coin toss between Swiss and round robin. I do like round robin groups a lot into a single elimination. I think single elimination is what the final playoff bracket should be every single time, in my personal opinion. But probably Swiss. I actually really liked the fall format. I think the fall format was pretty sick. But for RLCS 11, I don't know if they're going to continue to do different formats for every single split, or if they're going to do one continuous one. I have no idea what they're planning, if I'm being honest. Question 4, the Golden Poodle says, what is the most important thing for us to do in order to grow your channel? This is so wholesome. Love your content, admire your work ethic. You deserve sunless level views. Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate the love. Honestly, I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason. It's a lot of it that has to do with like just YouTube hitting the algorithm. I do know that my content is very niche. It's a very specific type of demographic. And once the esports starts to explode, then hopefully my content will do as well, because you're going to see more people that are involved in it. My content is not the widespread casual fan base. It is for the dedicated. It is for the people that would like to stay up to date on only one facet of the game, while other people, obviously like Sunless and Musty and stuff, cater to the whole spread, the majority. And I know that was going to be an issue when I started doing my YouTube channel. So for those that enjoy the content, I'm just appreciative that anybody watches these videos, if I'm being completely honest. It was something that I knew anytime I put out YouTube videos previously, these were the ones that did the best. Stuff about analysis and predictions and stuff like that. So that's why I started to do them more dedicated, and why my channel is the way that it is now. In the future, the difficulty is like, it'd be cool to go to different, like maybe once a week, a different series, but it just feels so out of place, right? Like this channel is known for being esports, Rocket League esports, Rocket League updates, all that kind of stuff. And then to have some like random gameplay stuff, it would just, it's really weird to kind of work that into a fan base that's already here for the one thing. So I don't think there's any like one thing you guys really need to do to grow my channel. Just continue to do what you're doing, you know, like the video, continue to watch it if you enjoy it. And if you don't like it as well, provide that feedback. I don't think there's a quick, like, these are the steps to success on YouTube. Like, it just has to be a growth thing. It takes time, and I'm okay with that. So the fact that you even think of asking this is super wholesome, and I greatly appreciate it. It's very humbling. But yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate it, and I couldn't ask for more. Question 5 comes from Commander Concord that says, what is the role of managers in Rocket League? Are they important? Yes. And can a coach easily fulfill that role as well? Kind of. So managers are basically like professional babysitters. That's a huge oversimplification of what managers actually do. But their job is basically to be the middleman between, or middlewoman between, the players and the organization. Travel stuff happening. Hey, I need to make sure that yeah, I mean, honestly, they're like adult babysitters. Hey, players, do you have your jerseys? Do you have these things? They basically are there to make sure that you have the stuff you need so you can be as successful as possible. They're also there to handle and vet any of the questions that the players may have so they can be successful as well. They're there as a resource from the organization. It's a dedicated staff member to be like, hey, do you have your jerseys? Do you have your controllers? Do you have backup controller? Do you have these? Your flights are at these times. Be there at this time, and just constantly harp and be on them, because at the end of the day, no offense to esports players, old and young, they are not the most responsible people. They need to be babysat sometimes, making sure that things like that are taken care of. They also do handle some more serious stuff, but essentially they're there to vet and handle any questions that the players or the organization has without it coming from the very top. It's basically as a middle person to say, hey, we are delegating this work to you so you can go and handle it. There are some coaches that also do the managerial role, but as Rocket League becomes more and more successful, I do think it is better to let a coach, for example, you look at someone like Sizz, right? Sizz was handling the coach management and sub role, and now coach, I think, is the only primary. I don't know if he's doing manager stuff as well. I'm not exactly sure on the ins and outs for Energy and what their infrastructure is. You can look at someone like Envy, where Envy used to have their coach. They don't have a coach and haven't had a coach for a decent amount of time, but Ian, who is part of their staff, is their general manager, and he basically manages multiple different esports teams for Envy, and that is his position. That's what his job is to do. So it varies from team to team, and I think as Rocket League becomes more and more successful, it is better to have a dedicated spot to where they don't have to split that focus. If you're the coach, I want you to only coach. I want you to put all your efforts into that and not worry about when is this person going to get to their flights? Is Justin eating well? Is he going to, wake up on time to do that kind of stuff? I think the coach should only have to focus on replay analysis, make sure the players are performing to the best of their ability and helping with that, rather than splitting focus on some of the more tedious stuff, I guess, if you want to call it that. It's all important, but I think as it, like I said, becomes more successful, you want to separate those roles just so people can strive in their position. As for the sixth question, it comes from Solar. What was your favorite and most memorable series you have ever casted? Ooh, that's tough. What makes it stand out from the countless others? The first one that obviously comes to mind is Season 1 at the World Championship. It is iBuyPower versus Flipside Tactics in the upper finals. And it is myself and Wavepunk casting. And there is an air dribble that happens by the name of a person of Overzero, also named as Rocket Jesus. And that series in particular really stands out because it's the one that made me realize how much I loved what I was doing. Even though I was having a really good time as a caster in Season 1 and getting into it, that live event, that goal, that moment, the crowd erupting and everybody cheering showed me what esports was truly about. It was the first time I got that feeling, kind of like when a competitive player hits that nutty shot. That's the same kind of feeling you get as a caster when you hit that really cool casting moment, or it comes off correctly or whatever it may be. So that one kind of instilled me with a really good feeling about yes, this is what I want to do. I want to work really hard so I continue to do this, and I absolutely love it. So that series in particular, I don't know if there's any one specific one, but getting to work at E-League is pretty big for me. If you guys don't know, E-League on TBS is the pinnacle of production companies and events that you can work. So getting to work on TBS and stuff with E-League was absolutely incredible. The entire staff over there is just top tier. Keith and all the guys and both Bens, and love all of you guys. You are amazing at what you do, and you make our job as broadcast talent super easy. But that's there was a turning point for me in that one where I've always kind of gotten in my own head during casting, and that one really solidified the just have fun, just do your job. We were in the middle of the production and middle of the actual broadcast. I think it was out on Twitch, and something fell off the wall, I think, over to my left. I was sitting at the desk and something fell off on the wall over to my left, and there's basically a loudspeaker that comes in. It's basically the god mic from production, because production's in the back in their studio room, and Keith, the producer, pipes in and just says "my bad," and everybody on stream, everybody in the arena heard it and stuff like that. And it just goes to show, even in TV, even at the highest level of entertainment and media, there's also mistakes, and that's okay. And having that realization at that moment was just it allowed me to kind of settle into my position, and it felt like that's where transitioning into my role really felt in certain shows. And you kind of see that over at version 1 when I cast their stuff. Just there's a level of comfort now that I always kind of got in my own head about the way that I handle myself on camera and stuff. There's certain moments that you kind of look back in your career, and those ones really stand out. But then there's also obviously the big moments and the exciting things too. So I hope that answers your question. It's really tough to look at just one because, like you said, there is a lot, but usually it's either the first or pivotal moments in your career that you really think about. Getting to work one-on-one, E-League 2018, I got hired and my contract extended to do all the TV promo stuff with Machine, who's a phenomenal host and caster for Counter-Strike, if you guys don't know him, and got to hang out with him all day and stuff like that. Those moments are the ones that are really special in your career, that you're just man, I can't believe I'm here, I'm doing this, I'm working with this AAA talent and stuff like that. So yeah, those are really fun, really cool. That is going to wrap it up for Q&A Sunday on a Monday. Don't judge me. But yeah, really good questions this week. A lot of really fun ones about just the RLCS and formats and all that kind of stuff. Makes it kind of difficult to figure out what the heck I'm going to title this video, but we'll probably figure it out by the time it comes out. So if you guys do have additional questions, as always, as a reminder, if you guys do have some and would like me to answer them in these videos, leave them in the comments down below. If you guys do enjoy the content or have any other things about what I say and you want more information on, leave those as well. And while you're down there, if you enjoy the content, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of the latest stuff that we are talking about. A lot of news coming out recently about Cookser and other stuff as well. A bunch of things to cover on IWO Intel World Open as well. So with that said, that is going to wrap up this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good night. Peace.